Toastmasters. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Welcome to the online meeting 51. I am pleased to be your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. Toastmaster mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in generate self-confidence and personal growth. Here are the meeting instructions. Rename yourself like Toastmaster. If nobody is playing role and just attending meeting, then Toastmaster TM underscore so and so your name. Role player, as I have given some example. Then guest. So here are some examples I mentioned. Next, all speakers are requested to do a quick audio and video check before they start their speech. Tech host or general Zoom master will confirm on the settings. You are all requested to keep your audio on mute in case you aren't speaking. I would request you to type in the chat box when a speaker is speaking as it disturbs the speaker. You can use the private chat to provide feedback. Do not click on share screen unless your speech or role requires you to do so. You can display a hi-fi or namaste when taking over or leaving from a role. You can connect with the Zoom master for any technical glitch. The tech master for today's meeting is Ritik. If you are a speaker, then please ensure you pin the timer or confirm that the same is visible at all times. This meeting is being recorded. In case you have any reservations, please let us know. Let's welcome a vivacious person who is president of our club and presiding officer of today's meeting, Toastmaster Sudha. Let me hand over the stage to presiding officer Sudha. Thank you. Over to you, Sudha ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Urmila, for that elaborate introduction. Good morning, everybody. How's the Josh?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sure all of us have soaked ourselves in colors, water, powder, washed ourselves many times to come back to our normal colors by now, thanks to the holy celebrations which we were part of, and also the fact that we had a long extended weekend. So I have been in one of the beautiful parts of Maharashtra this weekend, and I went through a beautiful topography which was news to me. And I was in Nasik. And Nasik is a place which, of course, I used to go to Shirdi, but I'd never extended my journey to Nasik. And I was on my way back. And obviously, when we are quite tired, we were trying to laze around in the car and reaching home in this sweltering summer. And I was looking at the beggars around here. So when we were traveling, and I saw a lot of beggars around Trimbakeshwar, the journey around the place where there were a lot of pilgrimage places. And what really amazed me is the fact that they were there begging because they had no choice. They needed food. They needed the basic things to carry on their lives. And yes, I was moved a lot, and I did try to be benevolent and share something with them as much as possible. I came home and we almost reached our home, and we were standing at a signal. And I saw those gypsies who had made the roads as their homes. And a lot of people were lying down on the footpath and having a good time. And what did I see? I saw two boys, two men actually, having a smartphone in their hands. And they were actually looking at a movie. And I went a little closer to it, yes, because my car was parked very close to the footpath. And I saw that they were actually watching Netflix. So why the reason for me to bring this story as a part of a message which I wanted to convey in today's morning was that sometimes what you see is not what it is. Perception sometimes is not always reality. And I was also extending this conversation with another cousin of mine. And what she told me was another story which amazed me. And this is a reinforcement of the fact that we need to change our attitude towards beggars. It's high time. The reason being, there was my grand uncle who used to watch a beggar on the traffic signal with a band-aid around his arms every day at the same signal. And he used to keep coming and keep begging. And after many years and many months, my grand uncle actually asked him, "Isn't your thing cured by now? You've been wearing this bandage for so long. You've become old as well. So haven't you gone to the doctor? Haven't you collected enough money to do it?" He said, "No, I haven't." And just the next day, another beggar came there. So he thought probably something must have gone wrong with the erstwhile beggar who was there. And he asked him that, why is it that the other person is not here? You know what he said? He said that this place is actually sold to me for 20,000 rupees because it's a popular destination. And now I'm going to be in this place, and this beggar has actually shifted his site to the other place. Now, I'm not encouraging anybody to not be benevolent, be kind, be empathetic. Yes, of course, but be watchful, because they say if you're putting something into a plate which has a hole, there is no use. The plate is not going to hold anything. So try to use your goodness and your resources to be shared with the right people. Make sure that it's going to the right hands. And definitely don't encourage begging, because if you can give the person education, a job, or even food and clothing, is better than just giving money. This is my message to you, because this was something very thought-provoking as I came back from my holiday, and I thought I should share this with you. On that note, we are all excited to kick on the meeting today. And yes, definitely we are going to be guided by the youngest Toastmaster of our club, but she's the most enthusiastic and a person who always believes in bringing a subject out of the box all the time. From the word go, we have seen her bringing topics which are, makes us think a lot, think as to, why don't we be like this, or why don't we think like this? And believe me, she's just 19 years old. And she's giving messages which even, I don't want to say my age, but people at my age are also provoked to start thinking differently. She is our dearest, youngest, enthusiastic Toastmaster of Mumbai Speakers Toastmaster Club, a person who believes that she's going to try to bring about a little change in our lives in the next hour of our meeting. So with that, let's all put our hands together and applaud our Toastmaster Mehek.
Thank you so much.
Mehek, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Presiding Officer Toastmaster Sudha. Today I have come up with something different. Like how Toastmaster Sudha said that I come up with new things. But this idea has come from all our seniors here. They wanted me to do like a book club kind of thing. So I brought in this book called The Alchemist. I think you can see it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty sure most of y'all must have read this book, but I'm going to give y'all a kind of an overview of the book, as well as tell you what I have learned from the book. And I had also circulated one link which I only circulated in the other group, so I'll put it up here also on the Zoom chat, where everybody can give in their inputs, so that, because this link, I tell you, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm collecting responses so that I can understand how other people have a perspective and how I can change my own perspective through your experiences. So this is like, and I'll be sharing you with the other people's responses to you also. If anybody has any problem that you don't want me to share your response, then please let me know. So without further ado, I'm going to start with today's theme, the hunt for treasure. Once upon a time, in a faraway land of Andalusia of Spain, there was a boy named Santiago. He was a shepherd who loved to travel places far and wide along with his flock of sheep. His sustenance was that flock of sheep, who were in fact his closest friends. A good book that he keeps exchanging for a new one every time he hits a new town, and that book also comes in handy as a pillow. And his favorite wine. These are his three things that he carries along as he travels all over. In the story, the universe steps in and the boy keeps having recurring dreams. So I'll tell you, I'll just read it out from the book as to what he dreams. I dreamed that I was in a field with my sheep when a child appeared and began to play with the animals. I don't like people to do that because the sheep are afraid of strangers. But children always seem to be able to play with them without frightening them. I don't know why. I don't know how animals know the age of human beings. The child went on playing with my sheep for quite a while, and suddenly the child took me by both hands and transported me to the Egyptian pyramids. Then at the Egyptian pyramids, the child said to me, "If you come here, you will find a hidden treasure." And just as she was about to show me the exact location, I woke up. Oh my, that's a very climatic point, as to wake up and then not come to know where the treasure is. But we'll find out where the treasure is. So he already knows now that he has to go to Egypt to find that treasure. While resting in one of the towns, as he was traveling towards Egypt, he encounters this person called Melchizedek. I'm sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. He was a strange, wise man, and he was the king of Salem. He tells this boy Santiago that he appears to people who are seeking their personal legend or their deepest lifelong goal. And he also says something about the world's greatest lie. He says, the boy asks, what's the world's greatest lie? It's this, that at a certain point in our lives, we lose control of what's happening to us, and our lives become controlled by fate. That's the world's greatest lie. Fate is never in control of anything. You are in control of it. Never is never something out of your control until you let go of it, until you want that to happen. He goes on, the king of Salem goes on to explain, people learn early in their lives what is their reason for being. Maybe that's why they give up on it so easily. To help him on his journey, the wise man gave the boy two stones, a black stone and a white stone. The black one called Urim and the white one called Thummim. And these stones, he gives it to the boy in return for his flock. The black one signifies yes, and the white signifies no. So, if in any situation throughout the story the boy is unable to make a decision, these stones will show him the way. On the first day in Tangiers of Morocco, Santiago gets robbed. He was about to take it as a bad sign and turn around and go back to his home when he remembered the words of the wise man. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. I think we've heard this one quote by Shah Rukh Khan. He says that in Hindi. And so continuing the story, the next day this boy finds a crystal merchant in the marketplace with dirty windows and no customers in sight, and he offers to clean them in return for food and shelter. So this was the part 1 of The Alchemist, and I would like to continue the part 2 after we finish this. Because our meeting is so long, I can finish. I won't be able to do it in one stretch. So I would like to move on with the meeting by explaining the structure of the meeting today. Today we will have 3 sessions. The first will be the prepared speeches. The second will be the table topics, and the third will be the evaluation session, which will be conducted by the general evaluator. And to help us through this entire meeting and help me find the treasure in this book or two, we have the tag team. And I would like to first welcome the timer, that is Toastmaster Darshan. Toastmaster Darshan, yeah, can you give me a confirmation that you're audible and visible?
Yes, I can see you and I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So I would like to ask you, what according to you is your treasure?
My treasure, I would say, is my family. That's what I value most, and having a good, healthy life would be a treasure for anybody to in long term.
Yeah, it's so true. Family is a very tremendous and the most valuable treasure that anybody can have.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can go ahead with the rules for the timings today.
Sure. Greetings, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guest. As a timer, I will be timing table topics for speakers, formal speeches, and evaluations. I'll also alert each speaker of time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denotes specific times remaining. That's also good luck to everybody.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. The next up is the R counter for calculating the R's, the ums, all the filler words that we use. For this role, we have Toastmaster Ajay. Toastmaster Ajay? Yeah, can you tell? Yeah. What according to you is your treasure?
According to me, the treasure is to have peace. Peace have everywhere, internal or external, and happiness to the family.
So you would like
these
to
are
have,
these are the things I feel this is the most precious treasures everyone acquire in their life.
so you would like to have internal peace as well as spread
External
the peace out.
peace, yeah.
Yeah,
Everywhere peace
the
required.
word.
Without peace, everything is messed up.
Yeah, nice. You can go ahead with the rules for the R counter.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Mehek, fellow Toastmaster, my dear guest. Very good morning to everyone. My role as the R counter is to record unnecessary sound used by the speakers and the role bearers. During the speech, it includes the crutch words, filler words, but, like, so, okay, and filler faces, you know, and so, etc. Extremely long pauses. The crutch words or filler sounds obstruct the smooth flow of any speech. It can be disturbing to the listener at the same time, lowering the value of the speech. Therefore, the R counter notes this word and phrases in order to help the speakers become aware of them and minimize the use of these words and phrases in future. I will present the R counter report when called upon by the general evaluator at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ajay. For the next role, we have the grammarian. The grammarian is the one who keeps track of all the good uses and the not so good uses that goes on in the entire meeting. So, without further ado, I would like to call in Vishal, Toastmaster Vishal Shah.
Hi, am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yes, you are. So Toastmaster Vishal, what according to you is your treasure?
Well, I think time is the biggest treasure that we have. So we have to give it a proper allocation. So we give to our loved ones, to our health, as well as the things that we like to do. So according to me, time is something that is a pleasure. It's a treasure for all. So that's about the treasure part. So should I go ahead and continue with my role?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. So, Madam and Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guest, as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words or quotations, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is my duty to introduce the word of the day. And for today's meeting, the word of the day is elucidate. Elucidate. It means to clarify something or give explanation. So it means to make something hard, which is hard to understand, make it clear to understand. I will give you an example. The author elucidates complex ideas to general audience. Again, another one. He hopes to develop a future experiment to elucidate how exercise influences metabolism. So each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. It is elucidate. I'll send it in the chat as well. I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting, and also the report of usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishal. Yes. So that was the tag team, the most important team in every meeting. And now we would like to move on to the prepared speeches. For the first prepared speech, we have, before I introduce the speaker, I would like to introduce the evaluator. This speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Vishal Mehta. And I would like if he could come up and explain the rules for this particular speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Mehek. My speaker, Toastmaster Rishikesh, will be attempting his icebreaker speech, which is L1P1. The purpose of this speech is to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. With this, I would like to wish my speaker, Toastmaster Rishikesh, all the very best and hand it back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Mehek.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishal Mehta. Toastmaster Rishikesh is going to give his icebreaker speech. All the very best for that. I remember my icebreaker speech. I was so scared, but everybody were very, very comfortable when they. They make you feel very comfortable when you're giving the speech. So there will be no that pressure is not going to be there. I would like to call on Toastmaster Rishikesh. So if you can give me a confirmation if you're audible and visible.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible and visible. Yes.
Yeah, just a minute, Mehek. Darshan here. So just to be clear on timing requirements, so icebreaker speeches should be within 4 to 6 minutes in length.
4 to 6 minutes.
Just if you allow me, I'd like to share my screen and just do a testing so that I am bang on, because I'm doing this for first time. I hope that is fine.
No problem. Yeah. Toastmaster Ritik, if you can confirm whether he can share his screen.
He can share the screen.
Okay, yes. You can start sharing Toastmaster Darshan.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yeah, and he'll let you know like when I say over to Toastmaster Rishikesh, then you can start the time.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Toastmaster Rishikesh, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Yeah, if you could hide your treasure, what would the treasure be, and where would you hide it?
A difficult question, especially for icebreaker.
No problem, you can take your time.
What the treasure be?
Yeah, you can answer just that one question. What would the treasure be?
Okay. I feel that it is the value system which makes an individual, and the good value systems, I can say, and that will be my treasure. And I
Oh.
feel that treasure is for everyone.
Oh,
And
nice.
that is the thing which everyone would hide to it, try to hide it, because it's unique to him. That makes them unique.
Okay, nice. Okay, so the journey, Toastmaster Rishikesh, the journey. Over to you, Toastmaster Rishikesh.
Thank you, Mehek, Toastmaster Mehek. Good morning to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. So let me begin by asking you to guess the name of a place by its description as follows. It's a city located in the northern state of India, in the state of Uttarakhand, located near the bank of River Ganga, better known for its river rafting activities. Can anyone name the place? Guess the name of the place? Yes, anyone?
Dehradun.
Okay, just giving a hint. It starts with the
Rishikesh.
letter R. Yes.
Rishikesh.
It's
Yes.
Rishikesh, of course. Yeah.
So many times I do find people who exclaim it that it's very difficult and very complex to recollect and remind pronounce my name. So that's the way I introduced my name to them. So let me begin my introduction with three different phases. The first phase I would like to say that is the phase of discovery. Belong to Mumbai, born and brought up in Mumbai. Since childhood, like every other children I saw around me, I was quite mischievous and also at the same time quite inquisitive enough to know different things in around me. I was quite a silent student in my school days and was quite average in my studies. Cricket was my favorite sport. I loved watching cricket and playing cricket. And MS Dhoni was my favorite player. And I recollect about watching even Test cricket just to get a glimpse about him. Quite unusual, even I feel sometimes weird to having watched Test cricket in today's days of IPL. When anyone came across with a question to me that what you dream to become in future, I would reply them back that I would like to become a doctor, quite a respectable position in the society. Days passed by and the reality of the studies and the subjects in around me faded my very dream away. Now I like to introduce my second phase, from which I concluded that life is all about making choices. I enrolled in myself into the commerce field, being very scared of the subject of science. I went in for college for 2 years before dropping off voluntarily. Indeed, it proved to be a very best choice of my life. Since a very bright student in the college in the commerce field, I decided to enroll myself in the chartered accountancy examinations entrance exam. I cleared it in the very first attempt. And after giving further exams, it was my time to look forward for 3 years compulsory internship. It was that during that time I got to meet my very first boss, who decided to enroll me in his organization. Indeed, it proved to be a very bad choice, not for me, but for the employees. I was the youngest of all the team members, and it was sooner or later that they realized that this very young lad had him a huge amount of leisure balance brought forward of the missed college fund he had. Indeed, a good boss makes and molds the very best of the individual in and around him. Now, the third phase, I would like to term it as the journey forward. Last year, I cleared my CA exams. Happy moment for me, my boss, and my belongings. Reflecting back, all I can say is that all I am today is due to the journey of my chartered accountancy. It's been 7 years since I have been associated with different individuals, either qualified CA or pursuing CA. Last year, my boss advised me gave me two beautiful advices. One is create a brand image of yourself, a brand name. I looked around and I saw that a brand name is already being created, not by me, but by the tourism attraction place of created by the government of Uttarakhand. The second advice was look for the world beyond sea. There is a world beyond chartered accountancy and venture into it. I left my association with accounting organizations and ventured into the corporate world, wherein I had the opportunity to work with people of different backgrounds and of different accounting bodies I can see. This year, just 2 months back, I met an amazing IT guy from Toastmasters who introduced me to this very club of Toastmasters. Indeed, I feel very fortunate enough to be sitting before and presenting before persons coming from different backgrounds and look forward to working with you all in our journey of Toastmaster. It is quite rightly said that there is a saying which quite elucidates as follows. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and I am glad enough to take that single step today. Thank you. Thank you, Mehek. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome speech, Toastmaster Rishikesh. And I like the last quote that you said. Can you repeat that quote?
Yes.
The last one, yeah.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and I am glad enough to take that with a single step today.
That's absolutely true. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That first step is the most difficult one that you have to take. And the Alchemist, the book, in this book, the boy Santiago, he had to take this first step in a lot of scenarios because there were so many stops. So yeah, you'll get to know in the journey. For the next prepared speech, we have Toastmaster Engelbert. But before I call him, I would like to introduce Toastmaster Sarika, who is the evaluator for this speech. Toastmaster Sarika, if you can come up and explain the rules for the speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Today, my speaker, Engelbert, is attempting his Level 1 Project 4, L1P4, his Pathway Innovative Planning. And the timer, please note, his timing is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research method and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. So good luck, my speaker, Toastmaster Engelbert, over to you.
So Toastmaster Engelbert, can you give me an audio video check?
Yeah, mic check. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that speech title. His speech title is Finding 20.
So Toastmaster Engelbert, I have one question for you. If you could hide your treasure, what would the treasure be and where would you hide it?
Treasure. It's a very difficult question at the wrong time, actually. Right now, my only treasure is to remember things that I learned.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, it is only my memory I want to just hide and keep. Nothing else.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Good. I wish you all the very best. Finding 20, Toastmaster Engelbert. Toastmaster Engelbert, Finding 20. Over to you.
Now for next 30 seconds, I request all of you to do I repeat once again because I want everybody's attention and camera on too. Okay, so for the next 20 seconds, you have to do exactly what I say. Okay, so I'm repeating for the second time. So, and you have to put your camera on, otherwise I will not understand whether you're hiding the treasure or not. Okay, so the second time I'm repeating. So whatever I say, you have to exactly do the same. Okay, third time I'm saying, in case if some of you have internet problem, whatever I speak, you have to do exactly the same in the next activity. Okay, so we'll start the activity. Okay, so raise your right hand exactly 90 degrees in front of you. Okay, now rub your nose with the same right hand. Now rub your forehead rub your head, a little faster, rub your forehead, rub your head, rub your ears, rub your chin. Wow, everybody's chin is so beautiful. Sudha ma'am's chin is the best. Even Babu sir's chin is the best. And that's exactly my topic today is finding 20. So we always search for that 80%, that is our chin. But here is the chin. So greetings. Sarika, actually my evaluator just realized just now. So I think I'll get extra 20 points. So finding 20. Greetings to Toastmaster of the day, to my fellow Toastmasters, and to my guest. So right now, what you saw is exactly what I want to demonstrate in next 5 minutes, or what I have already demonstrated. I'm just going to elaborate in next 5 minutes. So it's basically what happens. Anything that we do, be it we give a speech, we are so much involved in that. Are speech, then I speech. I have to give my speech. I have to be ready. I have to be decked up. I have to remember my lines. But we forget that what is the purpose. Okay, so thanks to Sarika who reminded me the purpose is to have a planned and organized way and to research. So when I was researching, I found one of the very valuable, or I could say, let me elucidate this point once again about the 20%. So it's called Wilfred Pareto's 80-20 rule, which most of you must have already heard n number of times, because in my last meeting I realized that most of you are already trainers or involved in some kind of HR activities and training. So this is a very common thing, 80-20 rule, where Mr. Wilfred, what he found out is that in England he found out that 80% of the wealth is in the hands of 20% of the people. And when he started applying in each and every area, right from his garden, he found out that even 80% of the peas that he got, it came out from the 20 pea pods, 20% of the pea pods. And that he could apply it from all the data, whichever country he applied, or in whatever statistics. Even today, if you just Google 80-20, you'll find so many researches, right from Oxfam. There was a report which I read of by Oxfam. It said that in India, the 80% of the wealth of India is by 10%, of the Indians. So this means that it's 80-20 is just a representative. It's not a mathematical equation. It just says that we focus on the most important task. Okay, and the first thing that came in when I was researching on this topic is that even in that workplace, we now, being in service industry, being in IT industry, our target is always to complete as many issues as possible, so that your bucket is empty, at the end of the day. But during this time, we are always taught, take the easiest one or take the with quantity. But what we forget is that is only a short cut that will not help you for long term. Why? Because sometimes that one issue, you may solve it within 2 days or 3 days, but that issue probably will prevent all further issues, or a bigger issue, or an issue that could even stop the business of your client. And that made me think, in every area, just imagine if the first 20% of your day, that is your first 1.5 hour of your day, of your awake, when you're awake, then you do only things like planning, you do only things that is most important for your body, mind and soul. Imagine you are equipped, you will become a warrior, where you will be equipped to take up the most biggest blow of life. And that's what I would like to further take it down through my observations of all these studies, of all this research. You'll have so many studies which says 80% of the accident happened with 20% of the riders, 80% of business will give 20% of the customers, and so on and so forth. But what did I learn? And what I would like you also to learn is that usually life is not like 80-20 always. Either you plan a lot and you execute a bit, or you execute a lot, that is, you do a lot of hard work but you plan less, or you're in the safer bit where you say, chalo, we'll do next time 50-50. But this 80-20 principle taught me a lot, and finding 20 is nothing but how it's a process for us. It's a process of finding wish we all knew what is our 20. We would have done only those 20 and gotten through life. But the process or the journey of life is that every step or every decision what we make, we need to observe and think whether it is the 20 what I'm achieving or whether I'm achieving the 80. And I would like to end with this quote: things that matter the most should not be at the mercy of things that matter the least. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Very well said, Toastmaster Engelbert. This is an awesome speech where you're explaining a lot of things to take in also. For finding your 20. Yes, I'm going to find my 20. That is my mission from today. Moving on, before we bring in the timers report and the polls for the prepared speeches, I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Sudha. She'll explain to you why I handed it over.
Well, thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. There was just one thing which I thought should be doing in the beginning was welcoming the guests who had joined the meeting, and I had probably was so excited to hand over the stage to TMoD that I kind of slipped on that. So I would like to welcome Hitesh, who has joined us today. Hitesh, welcome to the meeting. And I'm sure you've seen the best part of the Toastmaster meeting, which is the prepared speeches. There's much more to go. What is your reaction to it and what brought you here, Hitesh?
Thank you, Sudha ma'am. So few things. I think this is my first session, but I look at the energy of the people. I think energy is one thing which I have noticed with the people. So obviously starting with my way she is managing the session, I think hats off to her. And this really shows the new generation which is coming in. They are more open to the presentation and communication skills. So this is one thing which I have seen, and I believe that maybe collaboration is the best way to learn, and maybe alone we can learn a little and together we can do a lot of more things. So this is why I'm here. I see people from diverse background coming in here, and I feel excited to be part of the Toastmaster session as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hitesh. And please hang on till the end of the meeting. We have a lot of exciting stuff happening, which the TMoD and the General Evaluator and the Table Topics Master will take us through. We have another guest who has joined us, who is Hemant. Hemant, welcome. And I hope you're enjoying the meeting so far. And how do you like it? Hello, Hemant. Are you there?
So his audio is not connected.
Okay.
Not able to speak.
Okay, no worries. So with that, I think I'm going to hand it over back to Mehek to complete the proceedings of the next part of the meeting. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudha. And now we had a wonderful session of prepared speeches where we had one icebreaker and one informative speech. So now we would like, Ritik, are the polls ready before I call them?
We need the timers report first.
Yeah, okay. So timer, can you come on and give us the timers report as to how much time did each speaker take?
Sure, thank you, Meg. The timing of the speeches were perfect. Rishikesh took 5 minutes, 20 minutes, and he qualifies. Angelbert Gonzalez took 6 minutes, 27 seconds, and he also qualifies. Congratulations.
Congratulations to both the speakers for qualifying the timelines. And now if we have the polls ready, the polls will come up on your screens.
Yes, polls are lodged. Please vote.
Just 10 or 15 more seconds for everybody to finish the polls. Just give me a confirmation when it's done.
It's done, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay. Moving on today, for today's session, we have the most amazing part of every meeting that we have, the table topics round. This is the most enjoyable round that of any meeting, and for the guests, this is the one around where y'all can also come in and speak. So y'all can explore what Toastmasters is all about. So to introduce our table topics master of the day, I would like to call on the table topic master Mugdha. Mugdha, please give me a confirmation that you can hear me, audio visible.
Yes, am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are. So I have a question for you. If you ever had the magic lamp of that contains the genie, how would you like to use it? Like you have 3 wishes. Would you use it? Yeah, would you use it?
Yes, I will use it, of course.
Yeah, okay. What any wish that you can share with us?
Um, I guess I would like to know more about the world. So, like, so I would ask, I would, I would want a wish where I could travel to each part of the world and see things.
I wish I could do that. I mean the main character in this book, that's what the person does through the entire story. So I would like to hand over the stage to you. The stage is all yours. All the best to everybody for the table topics round.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Mehek. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. We have seen some fantastic prepared speeches, but in real life, you don't have the luxury of giving a prepared speech. For example, you are in a meeting and your boss suddenly asks you to give your opinion on something. So, or you might be asked to say a few words at a family gathering or at a friend's farewell. How would you feel in that situation? Uncomfortable? The ability to speak confidently and clearly without any preparation is a very vital skill, and it simply comes with practice. At Toastmasters, the table topic session allows us to practice your impromptu speaking in a safe and friendly environment. It also gives an opportunity to all who haven't spoken yet during this meeting. Now, let me call the timer to give you the timing guideline.
Sure, thank you. So for table topics, limit would be 2 minutes. At 1 minute, you will be shown a green card. 1 minute and 30 seconds, you will be shown yellow card. And at 2 minutes, you will be shown a red card. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. Now we'll start with the members. So, who would be the first member? Any volunteers? Yeah. So, Toastmaster Vishal, my my first my first question to you would be um, is stealing to feed a starving child wrong? Toastmaster Vishal, you are on mute.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Table Topic Master Mugdha. Good afternoon or good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Is stealing to feed a poor bad? Well, that's a very a subjective question, to start with. Of course, hunger, as we all know, is one of the primary needs for every human being, and unfortunately, for a beggar, one of the things that they really need on a daily basis is food. And it's a very ethical sort of a question, wherein someone has to decide between. Oh, hang on. Actually, the timing has not started, or has it?
No, it has not yet started.
Okay.
I guess this was not a table topic. It is just a question. Sorry.
Oh.
My bad.
No problem.
Sorry.
So was this a question or a table topic?
Yeah, it was a table topic.
It was a
I'm
table
sorry.
topic.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. No worries at all.
How we
You
go
can
ahead,
start.
Toastmaster?
You can start
You can
again, or if you have an extra topic ready, we can give another topic to it.
Okay, I'll give another question.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so, yeah. Is the reward worth the risk? Toastmaster Vishal, is the reward worth the risk?
Okay. Thank you, table topic master Mukta. Is the reward worth the risk? So everything that we do normally has certain risks and rewards associated with it. And sometimes the larger the reward, the more is the risks. And we really need to evaluate this depending on the situation. So in my opinion, if you are really wanting to take any risks in life, I would really recommend that you evaluate what the consequences of those risks could be. For example, I remember, like, one story wherein a farmer, he had a horse, and the horse, he just ran away one day. And in the evening, all the people in the village said, hey, that's really sad that your horse ran away. And the farmer said, maybe. The next day, that same horse returned back with 7 wild horses along with it. And all the farmers in the village said that day that, hey, that's really so good. And the farmer said, maybe. So again, like I said, everything in life has its consequences, and we really need to look at the risk and the reward ratio, and then make our decisions accordingly. So with that, I hand it over to you, table topic master Mukta.
Yeah, so it was a very insightful speech. Okay. So, so I would ask the next. So, can I have guest Hemant for the next as a next member?
Hi, am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Hi.
yeah. Hi. So my question to you would be, can you tell me about, the question would be your first bicycle riding experience. So I will repeat the topic, your first bicycle riding experience.
Well, I grew up with lots of guys who are interested in sports. And so we started riding bicycles at a very, very early age. So I definitely don't remember my very first experience, but I do have an interesting one. So like I said, I grew up with sporty guys. And so one thing we used to try was try to ride the bicycle without holding the handle. So I got excited and decided to do that. 30 seconds later, cycle was on top of me. And I fell and I screamed, obviously, because I was hurt. And coincidentally, I fell right below my balcony. Like I stay on the 3rd floor and I am on the ground and I'm screaming. My mom heard it. So everyone almost heard it, and then I was surrounded and everything. And it was so bad, but somehow there were no scratches, as if nothing happened. So ever since then, I have not dared doing that. And I just ride bicycle normally. And yeah, that's it.
Was an interesting experience, but sad to hear that. Okay. So, yeah. So, can I have a next voluntary member? Or should I call a name then? Okay. So we have Kandra Ajay Sharma. So Toastmaster Ajay Sharma, my question to you would be, what is your favorite kind of sound? I will repeat the topic. It is, what is your favorite kind of sound? Toastmaster Ajay, over to you.
Thank you so much, table topic master Mukta. What is the favorite sound of mine? right? This is the topic, right?
Yeah.
According to me, favorite sound is to sleep in the night, wherein the entire day you work hard, and at the night when you sleep very peacefully. And this is the sound, I mean, everyone needed at the day end. And this is really a peaceful when you entire day, when you work hard and stretch out, and when you sleep very peacefully. And this is the sound I really enjoy, and I really stress out. So yeah, these are the things. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ajit. Sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
So for me, so for the next member, can I call Toastmaster Pooja? So Toastmaster Pooja, are you there? Okay.
Table topic master, she is not there.
All right. So is Toastmaster Sangram there?
Yes, Mugdha, I'm there.
All right. So my question to you would be, what is your favorite family time? I will repeat it. What is your favorite family time? Toastmaster
Thank
Sangram,
you.
over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mugdha, for the topic. My favorite family time would be watching movies together with my family. Since I'm working in most of the times, I'm working in the shifts, like, I work for a BPO wherein I had to work in the night shifts. In day and normal weekdays, I do not get a time to spend time with my family. But during the lockdown, I would say COVID is a blessing in disguise for me, because I could get some time to spend time with my family, my child. I have two daughters, so I spend most of the time with them. So one thing I like most about them is they are very, avid follower of the movies, which they like to see. Every time they snatch my mobile and look at the Netflix movies or any other movies. However, it is restricted, I would say, to the children. But yes, whenever I get a time on Saturday or Sundays, I like to spend time with them watching movies together. Most of the movies which I like to see with them is the movie with the humor into that, or comedy movies, I would say. The recent movie which we watched together was an Hera Fairy. You all know that movie. Okay, so with that, I would say I will stop it over here. Thank you for your giving this topic to me.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sangram. It was lovely, like how you spend your family time. Okay, so can I have Toastmaster Sarika as she raised her hand?
Okay.
Yeah. So Toastmaster Sarika, my question to you would be, when do you feel most like yourself? I would repeat it. When do you feel most like yourself? Um, Toastmaster Sarika, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Mugdha. When do I feel the most myself? I feel the most myself, in fact, actually every time, because I really believe that, with friends or with family, there shouldn't be any, you shouldn't pretend to be someone else, or pretend to be maybe imbibing somebody else's quality. I think the best when I feel about myself is almost every time, but the best is with my friends, with my girl gang. I'm just myself. I mean, there is no judgment, there is no space of, there is complete freedom, no space of judgment, and you do what you want, and nobody is going to judge you. So I think that is, and I really feel and I hope that I can live that life always, every day, single minute, every time, because I really don't want people to judge me for what I am, or even if they judge, I have to be that thick skin, that it doesn't matter to me, because I want to be myself. I want to live as per my terms, and of course not hurting anyone, but the way I want. So I think, yeah, I would really want, and that's my wish, that every moment I be myself and not anybody else. Over to you, Toastmaster Mukta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarika. That was really nice. Okay. So, yeah. So, Toastmaster Sudha, my question to you would be, yeah. So my question to you would be, wait, yeah. So how has your personality changed in the last 5 years? Like if you compare it, how has it changed? So I will repeat the question. How has your personality changed in the last 5 years? Toastmaster Sudha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Mukta, for that wonderful topic. Basically, I think that last 5 years, out of which 2 long years have been COVID, and most of us have gone through a lot of changes. And personally, for me, it is also combined with me coming back to my home country, where I used to come on a holiday most of the time for the last 21 years. So for me, it's a combination of a lot of changes. My daughter leaving home for university, my son moving to India to study in a school in India, my husband still continuing to work there, and me being in Bombay and realigning with my job responsibilities out of Dubai. So I personally think it has been a sea change. And of course, COVID is something which all of us have gone through. We've become more appreciative of a lot of gifts of nature, gifts from God, and we have a lot of more gratitude. Also have seen struggles, have lost a lot of people in the bargain. But I think it has been a very, very, thoughtful, thought-provoking phase of all our lives. I think all of us have gone through similar experiences. Children who have just started school have seen only a laptop. They've not even gone to school to know what is a school, to even touch a book. I mean, these are things which is not seeking of a generation which is yet to be a part of this world. So I hope it has taught the lessons to me, definitely, and to all of us, and we take it forward in a positive stride and continue to face the challenges that we'll be having in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudha. So with this, I would like to wrap today's today's table topic session. I would like to call the timer for the report.
Thank you, Mugda. So very nice table topics we had, and very good speeches by the participants. Congratulations. So first was from Vishal Mehta. He completed his speech in 1 minute 31 seconds. He qualifies. Second was from Hemant. He completed in 1 minute 13 seconds. He qualifies. Third was from Mr. Ajay Sharma. He completed his speech in 1 minute 14 seconds. So he qualifies. Next was Sangram. He completed his speech in 1 minute 19 seconds. He qualifies. Next was Sarika. She completed her speech in 1 minute 30 seconds. She qualifies. Last was from Miss Mugda. So she completed her speech in 2 minutes 2 seconds. Now that red flag was shown. So according to rules, if she exceeds, whether she is disqualified or not, I will just ask the senior members to comment on it.
So it's usually 30 minutes grace given, Darshan,
Okay.
for both sides. Yeah. So,
Okay. Then Sudha qualifies. Thanks.
Thanks, Darshan.
Yep.
So, yeah. So everyone qualifies. Yeah. So we have the poll ready.
Excuse me, I have a question. Hello.
Yeah.
We can't vote for ourselves, right?
No, you can.
All right, I didn't vote for myself, just saying.
Okay. Okay, so okay, there is one person who is left. So can he vote? No, she. Okay, we got all the votes. So thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for the post. So now I would like to hand over this to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mehek.
Thank you, Table Topics Master Mugdha. That was a wonderful table topic session where we could see all the participants coming up with very beautiful impromptu speeches. On the spot, you can think how fast you can think and what you can think and what you can deliver. That is what table topic session is all about. Coming back to the book, The Alchemist. This is one of my favorite books, and that's why I chose this book. And I had stopped where the alchemist, Santiago, he starts working for the crystal merchant. So now he works with the crystal merchant for about 11 months and 9 days, and he gets his fulfillment out of the entire process of his work, because he helps this crystal merchant to get as many as customers as he can. He gets it by giving him innovative ideas, by increasing his reach to such an extent that he comes to earn so much. But the special thing about this book is that each person that Santiago goes and meets, he has something new to learn from this person. So from the crystal merchant actually wanted to go to Mecca, which is a lot far away from the pyramids, and he wanted to do a pilgrimage. So because he thought, and the boy, that is Santiago, he asks him that why didn't you go to Mecca up till now? And the crystal merchant replies, saying that because it's the thought of Mecca that keeps me alive. That's what helps me face these days that are all the same. These mute crystals on the shelves and lunch and dinner at the same horrible cafe. I'm afraid that if my dream is realized, I have no reason to go on living. This thought that everybody sees reaching their goals, reaching their dreams in different ways. Everybody has different perspectives. That one thought is beautiful. After moving on from the crystal merchant, this boy, he continues his journey to Egypt, and he meets on a caravan, he meets this Englishman who is in search for the alchemist, and he has traveled all the way to Africa to seek out this renowned alchemist. And as these two travel through the desert, the Englishman tells Santiago about the secrets of alchemy. So Santiago is now learning about alchemy also. And Santiago finds the Englishman's ideas to be very similar to Melchizedek. Again the name. His ideas, the king of Salem. They spoke about the soul of the world, to which we are all connected. In the end, always dust goes down to dust. We're all part of this universe. We're all made up of the same matter. We're all connected. And this was what Santiago found out in the Englishman as well as the king of Salem. Santiago, though he prefers to learn the secrets of life, of the heart's desires, by observing the world, while the Englishman, he prefers to learn from complex books. Everybody has their own way of learning. So while they travel, they begin to hear rumors about an upcoming tribal war. And now I'm going to finish off on this climax and come back, because yeah, I have built some suspense. Moving on with the meeting, we have the next session, that is the general evaluator session, where we call on the general evaluator who evaluates the entire meeting. And after that session, we will continue on with the story. General evaluator Joy, I would like to ask you the same question. That is, if you had the lamp and that contained the genie, what would be your? Would you actually rub the lamp and bring the genie out and then ask the three wishes, or would you not do that? Would you prefer not doing that?
Now that you made me, you've given me the choice of not having to go ahead and rub the genie and ask for the wishes. I think I would rather not. I would rather not. I mean, what's the point of wishing for something and getting it and not going through the struggle or not going through the journey of it all, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would not do it. So thank you for making it a pretty binary question.
Thank you. So over to you, General.
Okay, so thank you, TMoD. We will start with the evaluations. I'm going to call upon my first evaluator, Vishal Mehta, to evaluate the speech of our first speaker, Toastmaster Rishikesh. So over to you, Toastmaster Vishal.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joy. Can we reset the timer? Yeah. Cool. All right. So Toastmaster Rishikesh, that was a really, really good icebreaker speech that you delivered. I really like the way how you started your speech by asking a question that normally gets the audience engaged and also create a bit of a suspense as to what the answer could be. And in a very, very smart way, you sort of, delivered that particular part. So I found that really good. And that was like quite engaging with the audience as well, as already mentioned. And I believe you sounded pretty confident throughout your speech, and you were also pretty confident and comfortable with how you were delivering your speech as well. And a couple of things that you really mentioned about how to create the brand, and that I found was like pretty good, and you kept the audience like really engaged throughout. And overall, I felt it was a pretty well constructed content that you had out there. Also, I believe you mentioned a pretty decent eye contact throughout your speech, which was nice as well. And also, your gestures were pretty much in line with how you were delivering your speech. So that was good. Also in terms of your the speech speed was also going at a pretty decent speed, and the volume and everything was good as well. The only one part which I felt, not sure it was just me or something, I think maybe it was a headset issue or the internet. Some of the words were not like that clear, so it might be like a headset issue as well. But nonetheless, you like ended it with a pretty good bang with that the punchline with the quote that you mentioned. So which was, I would like to repeat it, that 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So overall, like a brilliant speech, icebreaker speech, and would like to give you like a standing ovation as we normally do. So great job on that one, Rishikesh. Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
With that, I hand it back to you, Toastmaster Joy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishal. I now call upon our second evaluator, Toastmaster Sarika Shah, to evaluate our second speaker, Toastmaster Engelbert. Over to you, Toastmaster Sarika.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Joy. Engelbert, what a start. I mean, you first of all, okay, first on the title. You mentioned the title Finding 20. I was wondering what the title is all about, Finding 20. I mean, 20 never signified, are you talking about the 80-20 rule or 20 as an age? Or I mean, I was just wondering what exactly is the topic all about. Then you started your speech. Your start of the speech was commendable. I mean, how engaging you were with, the audience. You did it with an exercise, and how nicely, in fact, everybody was just flowing with your exercise, and we didn't realize that chin is not here, but it's here. And how nicely you conducted this entire episode. So the start was really very good. And through that exercise, you connected with the topic, which was again really commendable. That how we all flow with the general world, and you don't listen properly, and you just miss finding that 20. Your purpose of the speech was you had to research. So you did mention a lot of examples about some research report. You mentioned that 20% of the wealth, is derived. 80% of the wealth is derived by the 20% of the people here in India, and how from that exercise you transition into wealth, gave some examples of the research report, to planning of day, that how the first part of the day should be planned, because that's the main 20%, for the rest of the 80%. So that way the transitioning were smooth. You were quite clear, elucidate. Your vocal clarity was nice. Your eye contact was very much with the audience. It wasn't sounding that you were reading something, except the last quote that you read. The gestures, you were using your hand gestures pretty well. Your speech was an awareness to the audience. I can say that because you brought this 80-20 principle here. It was an interesting topic, and it was well researched. Your end of the speech was quite nice, because you ended it with a quote, which really stayed with my, in my mind, that, things that matter the most, and how nicely you said that. A few suggestions from my side. One suggestion, actually two suggestions. One is I missed, so your speech was about 80-20, but I missed the personal touch in your speech. Maybe, one personal example, so you could link that how the 80-20 principle you apply in your life, and how that entire thing. So I think that personal example was something that I missed. And the second improvement or second suggestion from my side was the conclusion. I thought you started very well. In the middle also, you took us, through the entire transition. But the conclusion, somehow, I think I couldn't get the final outcome of the speech very clear. So I mean, because of the title, I could understand that you were talking more about, how do you find the 20%? And then you also mentioned that 80-20% is generally not always available in life. So maybe end could be more smooth is what my suggestion would be. Otherwise, overall, amazing speech, Engelbert. We would really like to hear more of you. And good luck to you, Engelbert. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarika. I'm now going to call upon Timer. Can you please go ahead and share your timer report for the evaluators? Toastmaster Darshan.
Yeah, thanks, Joy. So Vishal Mehta completed his evaluation speech in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, which was within time. Sarika evaluated Engelbert. She took more than 3 minutes 30 seconds, so she shot up well beyond the permissible limits.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Darsh.
I hope the screens were visible. I could, but I wanted participants to also tell me.
Yes, it was visible.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't see the screen. I was only looking at Engelbert, so I just missed seeing the timing.
Yeah.
That's a very focused evaluator. So thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. I am now going to call upon the rest of the evaluators, the role bearers. So starting with Toastmaster Ajay, can we go ahead and share the R counter report, please?
Toastmaster Joy, can you give me 2 minutes, please? I need to compile. Just 2 minutes.
Okay, so we'll come back to you in that case, Toastmaster Ajay. Can we request Toastmaster Vishal to share the grammarian report, please?
Yeah, hi. Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Perfect. So good session today. So I see that few people did use a word for the day. Rishikesh and Engelbert used a word for the day was elucidate. In fact, Sarika also used this word as elucidate. The good words for the day, rather the phrases that I liked was obviously the showstopper was the journey of 1,000 miles begins with single step. And Sudha also mentioned seeking of a generation. So I liked it, but maybe Sudha could explain how do you use it. I'm not sure. Okay, but I liked the way you put it there. So And Joy, I like the way you said, thank you for making this question a very binary question. So it's a good way to say, instead of saying just a yes or no question, it's a binary question. So it's a good way of saying. Some usage that I felt could have improved. So for example, let's say vital means very important. So if you put very vital, then it is a repetitive very. So instead of very vital, we could just say vital, but it is not wrong. Technically, very vital is not wrong, but vital is sufficient. Then instead of saying sporty guys may mean something else. But instead, in the sentence, where it was used, we could have used athletic guys. Okay. And then there was a sentence which says this sounded. This is the sound which everyone needed. So needed is past tense. So in fact, it could be this sound. This is the sound that everyone needs could be a better use. And then one wrong use of elucidate was you were elucidate. So actually elucidate is not a noun form, it's a verb form. So you could say you elucidated very well, something like that. So that's it for me. Thank you, General Evaluator. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Vishal. Coming back to Toastmaster Ajay, is your counter report ready?
Yeah. So let me share my screen. I have compiled everything. Please confirm everyone if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Joy. So let me start with the presiding officer, Toastmaster Sudha. She used phrase word 2 times. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mehek, she used 3 times, 4 times. Crutch word so 2 times, but 3 times. Again, filler phrases so 4 times. Long pause 2 times. So she used 18 times. And speaker 1, Toastmaster Rusikesh, used 2 times. So 3 times, but 4 times and 3 times. Issue, he used repeat word issue 3 times. So total number of 15 times. And speaker number 2, Toastmaster Engelbert, he used 2 times, that 3 times and 2 times. Long pause 1 time. So he used total number 8 times. Speech evaluator 1, Toastmaster Vishal Mehta, used 4 times, also 4 times, but 2 times and 4 times, so 4 times. Total number of these users he used 18 times. Speech evaluator Sarika Shah used 2 times and 3 times. He used 5 times, total numbers. Table topic master to Toastmaster Mukta used 2 times, so used 1 time. Total 3 times he used. Table topic contestant 1, Vishal Mehta, used 1 time, like 2 times and 2 times, 5 times he used. Table topic contestant number 2, Toastmaster Sangam, used 2 times. Total 2 times he used. Table topic contested 3, Sarika, she used and 2 times. Total number she used 2 times. Toastmaster Sudha, contestant number 4, she used 2 times. So total number of she used 2 times. Toastmaster guest, Mr. Hemant, he used like 2 times. I did not find Joy. Timer, Toastmaster Darshan, he used 2 times and he used 3 times, total 5 times he used. Vishal Mehta, grammarian, he used 2 times, total 2 times he used. Jew Master Urmila, 2 times, 2 times and 3 times, so total 8 times he used. And guest, Mr. Hitesh, he used and 2 times. So this is the report. I tried my level best to compile everything and present my report. Over to you, Toastmaster Joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that detailed report, Toastmaster Ajay. Can I now request the Zoom Master Ritik to go ahead and launch the polls for the best evaluator, please. Okay. I thought Toastmaster Sarika did not qualify as per the timer report. Can we please confirm if we are going to still vote for the best evaluator?
Timer, can you confirm what is the time?
Yeah, Sarika had completed her evaluation speech at 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So she was well above the time limits.
So in that case, we cannot run the poll. We'll have to go ahead and declare Toastmaster Vishal the winner. Okay, coming to the next set of polls, the auxiliary role player. Can we go ahead and get everyone to vote for this, please? Okay, I'm now going to go ahead and share my report for the entire meeting, starting with Urmila, the SAA Sergeant at Arms. So I think it's pretty much the first time or maybe the second time she's playing this role of the Sergeant at Arms. Good job, very clear in her speech. What you did was you read and you went ahead and shared the PPT as well. Okay, I've been told that there is one more polling left. So can I request the best aux role player polling to be put up, please?
It's done, General Evaluator. Thank you.
It's done, right? Okay. Okay. All right. So coming back, I was talking about Urmila and the Sergeant at Arms. So great job. You've read and you also went ahead and put up your PowerPoint for everybody to see. When you're putting up PowerPoints, right, it's important that you go ahead and put it on a PowerPoint show mode. Okay, so you do not put it on a PowerPoint show mode, which is the F5, so everybody can get a full screen and not the smaller screen. That is one. Second is, you can also go ahead and see how you can improvise on the scripts which are given. Okay, so it gets a little tiresome to go ahead and give the same scripts over and over again. So you can improvise those scripts a little bit, but good job. Coming to, the first thing that I'd like to go ahead and share about this entire meeting, right? So we had a theme for the meeting, the hunt for the treasure, right? And it's very important that, all the role bearers are able to go ahead and, align themselves to this particular theme. That's what a theme is all about, right? So the meeting becomes cohesive when you are able to align yourself to the theme. I found that cohesiveness missing here because there was a theme, but starting with Sudha, the presiding officer, went ahead and spoke about, her experience over the weekend and, her experience with the beggars. And Mehek had a theme for, the hunt for the treasure. And she spoke about this book by Paulo Coelho. And then we had Mugdha in her table topics. Her questions were varied. They were very diverse. So she started with morality. Is stealing to feed a starving child wrong? She moved on to capitalism. Is reward worth the risk? She moved to nature. And then she finally moved to self-awareness. Gets a little too confusing if you're not able to go out and drive one message through the meeting. So there was a theme, and it helps if the TMoD can take the initiative and ensure that everybody is aligned to that particular theme, because they are the ones who are actually selecting that theme. And if they can go ahead and, catch up pretty much with all the role bearers and ensure that, everybody is aligned, which I think, Mehek, you tried to do, but it was a little too last minute. I think there was a forms that was filled out. It happened just before the meeting. And when you're asking such deep, thought-provoking questions, you'll have to give the audience some time, right? So I think that is the reason why you may not have got enough responses, and it becomes difficult to collate those responses again at the last minute and then use it in the meeting. So again, from topic perspective, right, Sudha is right. For a 19-year-old, it's a pretty woke theme to come up with. And one thing you'll have to go ahead and realize is The Alchemist, while it is a favorite book for a whole lot of people, if people haven't read that book, right, it becomes a little disconnecting to understand what's going on. So you've picked passages, you try to go out and narrate the whole story, but I've read the book, so it connects with me, but I'm trying to go ahead and identify people who've not read the book. Does it make sense to them? Okay, so what is the entire treasure? What is the entire journey? What is this guy Santiago really after? Yeah, so all of those questions, maybe like you said, you still have one piece remaining towards the end, and maybe you'll go ahead and simplify it, elucidate, the true meaning of this particular book. But I like the choice of questions that you had for your role players today. They were very nice, very thought of questions. And when you were introducing each of the role players, you were able to go out and take their answers and then, again, reflect back and make sense. Something that also needs to be done by the table topic master, Mugdha. So her questions, after the responses, she kind of moved on to the next question very quickly, picking up the next person without, trying to reflect back on the responses. It makes sense to go ahead and have a seamless transition from one question to another. Okay, moving on to the role bearers. Darshan, I think this was your first time as a timer. You did a fantastic job considering this was your first time. And I saw how keen you were to ensure that you get everything right. So while you did a few testing right in the middle of the meeting, again, we can allow this because it's your first time. You'll have to go ahead and do this before the meeting. Okay, all the testing has to be done before the meeting. Grammarian, awesome report. You had your recommendations in place. You went ahead and ensured that you're not taking names of those people who erred in their grammar today. And I like the choice of the word that you went ahead and used. And this is something for the club, okay? When you have a word, right? And we try and make sure that people use that word in that particular meeting. Why not go ahead and repeat that word over the entire week so that, we can actually add that word to our vocabulary. It doesn't get added. If I were to ask this club, what was the word from last week, and nobody will actually remember it. So the word is forgotten immediately after the meeting. Or the grammarian doesn't really have to go out and pick the word just before the meeting. He can pick it up maybe a week prior and tell everyone that this is going to be the word. Let's start using the word as much as possible. So if the objective is to go out and get everyone to use the word as much as possible, why not go out and prepare people in order to use that word as much as possible, right? So we can control that outcome that we so desire. Coming to Ajay, a good use of the Excel sheet to go ahead and make your report very, very elaborate and detailed. I think you went ahead and took the feedback from the last session as well, where the feedback was, what are the crutch words? So you had a column which was only for crutch words, but it was a little unclear. What are you referring to as crutch words? Now here's the catch, okay? So you went ahead and added the crutch words today. You went ahead and said the so's and the ands and the also's, they are all crutch words. But in one of your reports, you had, I think one of the Toastmasters used the word so, and it was used once. I'm not sure how that is a crutch word, because so can be used, right? And if it was only used once in her entire time of let's say 10 minutes, I'm not sure how it becomes a crutch word. So crutch word is again something which is like a filler word, something which is used repetitively. So you might want to go ahead and see if that was a crutch word, or you're just hanging on to certain words which you believe are crutch words irrespective of how many times they're being used. Okay, couple of fantastic speeches. So kudos to Rishikesh for the first icebreaker speech. So very well done and very well evaluated by Vishal as well. And I think Vishal also went ahead and gave you that respect that you deserve, for delivering your first icebreaker speech with a standing ovation. And he was pretty nice to you as well, and you deserve that, yeah, because you came up with good content, you had a good structure. You might want to focus on the last part, which are the three essentials for every speech, which is content, structure, and then delivery. So while Vishal went ahead and spoke about your gestures, I did not see any gestures, by the way. And I thought you were just reading from a piece of paper. Now, a good speech is also about delivery. You could be reading news for all it matters, yeah, but even those news readers, right, if they don't have a good sense of delivery, right, people are going to turn off their screens. So you might want to focus a little bit more on your delivery, but content and structure, you nailed it, if this was your first speech. Engelbert, again, he's a master. And although I'm still trying to think, what was the activity all about? Yeah, so I don't know. I'm a little stupid, by the way. I am 20% behind everybody else. So, when you were doing that activity, I was still thinking, okay, this particular activity tells me that I'm kind of inattentive to what people do and what people actually listen to. Yeah, but I'm still not able to go and connect it with your topic of finding 20. But that's my version. Like I said, I'm still 20% behind a whole lot of people. So yet to get there. Good evaluation by Sarika. She is somebody who always goes ahead and ensures that, there is a checklist as far as evaluation is concerned, and she manages to go ahead and check all those boxes as far as evaluation is concerned. So she exceeded the time, but all for good reason. That's something that I also keep doing from time to time. I extend the time, but whatever needs to be said has to be said, right? If it's not said then and there, I mean, when are you going to say it? Okay, that's all the evaluation that I had for today. So that's about it. And I'm going to hand it back to the TMoD Mehek. Back to you, TMoD Mehek.
Thank you, General Evaluator Joy. That was a very exhaustive evaluation. And I'm going to make sure next time I choose a book, everybody knows about the book. Yeah, just to, because this was a very good and very deep, meaningful book that I chose. And I actually expect people to go on and read it. That's why I chose this book. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I can explain a little of the book, but I will not elucidate everything out of it, because the fun and the deep essence of the book is when you read it. So continuing with the story, now the Englishman and Santiago, they both are traveling together, and they finally arrive at the oasis called Al Fayoum, which is the home of the alchemist. Santiago, he there meets a very beautiful girl named Fatima, with whom he immediately falls in love. And he discovers that love, like his personal legend of finding the treasure, it comes directly from the soul of the world. While walking in the desert, Santiago, he has a vision of an upcoming battle, and he rushes back to the oasis where he confirms his vision, and these people at the oasis, they offer him a position as a counselor. Now Santiago has a job, he has a girl. What is the use of finding the treasure anymore? Why would he want to go back? That's what was in his mind. He was questioning himself as to, I don't want to go anymore, I want to stay here with Fatima. But Fatima and the Englishman, they both encouraged him that this is what your destiny is, to find that treasure, because the entire universe was collaborating in pushing you to finding that treasure. From the start, his main motive was that, and it is important that he achieves it, because Fatima says that she will wait for him until he returns back with the treasure in his hands. So once again, they're on the move, and the alchemist teaches Santiago to listen to his heart, the alchemist being the Englishman. Hearts can be treacherous, but the best way to keep them from fooling you is to listen to them intently. This is one of the quotes from the book. Almost to the pyramids, they almost reach the pyramids, and they are taken by a tribe. They're taken as prisoners, and here the alchemist tells the tribesmen that Santiago is a powerful magician who can turn himself into the wind. The tribesmen are impressed and will spare the lives of these men only if Santiago can do it. There is just one problem. Santiago has no idea how to turn into wind. So he's given 3 days of time, and what Santiago does is he uses his entire journey, his entire belief system, that he uses the entire knowledge of the soul of the world to ask the elements to help him. First, he asks the desert, then the wind, then the sun, and finally the soul of the world. This part of the book is the best part, is because when you read it, you feel okay, I'm connected to the universe. I'm connected to this entire solar system. I'm connected to this entire being. And finally, when the scene comes up, immediately the wind whips up and Santiago disappears and reappears on the other side of the camp. The alchemist takes his leave of Santiago, who continues to the pyramids. And once he reaches the pyramids, the Santiago is then attacked by robbers. And the robbers ask him what he was doing there. Santiago says that he had a dream of a treasure buried under the base of the pyramids. One of the robbers, he laughs at him and says that he had the exact same dream, except that in his dream, the treasure was buried in Spain. And Santiago realizes that the treasure was back in Spain the entire time. In the end, he finds the treasure at the base of the tree where he had his first dream. And the two stones that were the black and the white stones, Urim and Thummim, he puts that in the box of treasure, and he says that these are also a part of my treasure, because it was not the treasure that was actually the treasure. It was the entire experience, entire process where he met different people with different experiences. He got to experience different things with them. He got to learn about their lives, about how they face problems, about how they can bring out solutions. It was that is the actual treasure. We are all surrounded by people, and the main thing that connects us all is that we know how to communicate with each other, and we know how we can understand each other. And I would like to come back to the book and read two excerpts from the book. We are afraid of losing what we have, whether it's our life or our possessions and property. But this fear evaporates when we understand that our life stories and the history of the world were written by the same hand. In this book, there is something called as matkub. Matkub, it means, I think it's an Arabic word, it means it is written. Your entire fate, the book believes that the entire fate of everybody is written somewhere. And that is what we act on. So the next step is there. There is a step there. You can't just stop after knowing what your goal is. Don't stop there, because life is where you're going to explore, where you're going to adventure and make it that way. That is what life is all about. The next excerpt is that Santiago says this: I am alive. When I'm eating, that's all I think about. If I'm on the march, I just concentrate on marching. If I have to fight, it will just be a good day to die as any other. Because I don't live in either my past or my future. I'm interested only in the present. If you can concentrate always on the present, you'll be a happy man. You'll see that there is life in the desert, that there are stars in the heavens, and that tribesmen fight because they are a part of the human race. Life will be a party for you, a grand festival, because life is the moment we are living now. This is what it is all about. And I would finally like to end saying this last quote: listen to your heart. It knows all things because it came from the soul of the world, and one day it will return home. Thank you. Over to you, presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Sudha.
Wow. Let's all put our hands together to congratulate Toastmaster Mehek to take us through such a beautiful, beautiful journey. So exhilarating. I mean, your personal thoughts on the book the extracts of the book, the message, and you were trying to elucidate a very complex, very philosophical book. And I really believe that there is a certain age to receive this kind of deep, heavy information. But you have broken those records as well. The way you churned out the knowledge to us and made it so simple was amazing. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mehek, once again. So just to inform all the members and guests here, so we had a discussion with Mehek and few other people at the end of the meeting, and we said that you always bring up a book. You do discuss about a book. So why don't we have a book club? So that's one thing we are planning to do. That will be apart from the Toastmasters meeting. So whoever is interested, please, get connected. This is all driven by your passion, your curiosity, and your wanting to be connected by reading a book. So that's another part of the agenda. So we will connect on that separately on the group. So thank you once again, Toastmaster Mehek. A wonderful meeting, a great, I can say, great teamwork out here with the SAR team, the role players, the table topics master, and of course, our great general evaluator, who is always there to tell us where we have gone wrong. And I think Toastmaster Joy never leaves any stone unturned to make sure that that is delivered to the team. And I like it because I think we all need to improve. We all need to see our alpha, right? We have to improve every day, and take it with a pinch of salt, or take it with even the spice. It's okay, but try and improve. That's the most important thing. Before I get on to the awards, I want one of our very dear mentor of our club for the guests and the new members to just share some thoughts, because I do see a lot of new members being a part of the club now, and we do have some guests as well. So that's Toastmaster Babu. Please put our hands together to welcome Toastmaster Babu. Babu, sir, please, would like you to share some pearls of wisdom on Toastmasters. But I know there is time stipulation on that, which is what the timer told me, by the way. And and yes, there are members, new members, and guests who want to probably get motivated as they start their journey. Thank you. Over to you, Babu sir.
I think Babu sir, you're on mute.
Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, okay. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that Madam Sudha would carry the 80-20 principle even up to me. I mean, she's put up the percentage of the quantum of speech delivered this evening or this afternoon. Anyway, no problem. Absolutely wonderful session that we've had today. And taking a cue from the theme that Mehek presented, I was just browsing through the dictionary to see what really the alchemist means. And it says that the alchemist is a person who brings about a transformation or creates something through a seemingly magical process. And I say this because after a year of Mumbai speakers, we are almost, I would say, 13 or 14 months, 15 months into the journey. And I can't help but say that Mumbai speakers has produced, even at the cost of sounding a bit exaggerated, we produce a lot of alchemists, I think, in this club, isn't it? And if you really look at the churn that we've been having in the club, we've had Sudha, we've had Joy, we've had Sarika, who are now virtually the backbone of this club, if I may call them. And now we have what I would call the Vishal combo. In fact, I sort of like that description of the two Vishals, and they've also brought a different dimension to the entire proceedings of the club. And when I hear all the new members like Toastmaster Mehek, Ritik, Urmila, it gives such a wonderful feeling that we've got perhaps just the right mix of experience and youth blended so very well. And I think this augurs really, really well for our club. And the only thing that I would like to mention here specifically is that I joined Toastmasters at a fairly late stage in my life, because when I joined, perhaps we didn't have so many clubs. But the generation today is quite blessed, I would say, to be able to join an organization of this kind at a very early age. And I'm really so happy that all of you have taken this, because perhaps it is going to be at the sacrifice of your academics, of your party going, of your, I don't know, whatever else Mehek and company do in their leisure time. So if you are able to cull a little bit out of your routine and spend it or devote it for Toastmasters, I think it's really says or speaks a lot for your intent, for your commitment, for your professional and personal lives. So the only thing that I would like to say here is that while you've joined Toastmasters, in fact, I welcome all the new members and the guests who have joined and perhaps who are on the way to joining Mumbai speakers, that while you've taken that big step, as Engelbert said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, yes, but it's not just enough to take that first big step. You've got to ensure that you keep taking the steps which come after that, and that can only be possible if you're able to take up all the roles, all the opportunities that the club, the area, the division has got to offer. So I would say that just throw away your introvert feelings, your diffidence, your shyness, or whatever, and say that, hey, listen, put your hands up and tell Madam Sudha and the ExCom team that we are ready to take up the different roles in the club. And if you can do that, I think you're well on your way to achieving the objectives that you've set out when you joined the club. So, with Sudha looking on like an eagle, I think probably I will not take too much of your time, but perhaps only say that yes, Mumbai Speakers is like a soaring eagle which has developed its wings, and maybe it's well on its way to scaling greater heights of glory. I mean, I know it sounds like a little bit of a speech, but I thought I'll end that on a very positive note. So, all the best to each and every one of you, and once again, welcome to all the new members, and wish you a glorious journey of Toastmastering with Mumbai Speakers. Thank you, and over to you, Madam Sudha. Did I stick to my time? And if so, please give me a nice round of applause.
Yes, of course. It's not for only the time sticking, but I think the pearls of wisdom are very useful, and I'm sure all the new members are going to take that as an inspiration to continue the motivation and the excitement and keep learning through the journey. Now, I just have need to just announce the awards, but before that, I want to hear from Hemant. Hemant, we didn't get to hear from you about how you connected here and how are you finding the meeting today, because I think you didn't have a voice connection earlier when I was trying to get to you.
Yes, there was some technical issue, and it was a wonderful experience because earlier I used to have a very good command over English language, but over the years and thanks to Corona, I couldn't really speak much. And since I couldn't speak much, my narration skills went downhill. So I was very, very eager to join this club. The thing is, I really liked giving the impromptu speech, even back in the day, in colleges, in schools. And so today I got the opportunity again to relive that rush, the adrenaline rush of making things on the spot and delivering them. So it was a great experience. The speakers here, I guess almost every member here, this was such a treat to listen to. And especially Mehek, her analysis of the book was so wonderful. Even I had read the books a while back, but listening to her makes me want to read the book again. And everyone did such an amazing job, and it was really fun. And I'm definitely looking forward to join Toastmasters in the near future.
Thank you so much, Hemant, for those kind words. And yes, we're looking forward to seeing you more at our meetings and also contribute towards different role plays and speeches. So I'll go straight to the awards now, which is something which we need to start. The first award will be for the best prepared speaker. And yes, a person who was so comfortable today with delivering his speech. I was pleasantly surprised. It didn't look like he is doing his second speech. Is it right? It's Toastmaster Engelbert. Congratulations, Engelbert. You can see that you have come a long way from just even hesitating to take up tag roles, I remember, and being so petrified to be on the stage. Your speech was superb. Like, you have nailed it in terms of the content, in terms of the opening, in terms of the engagement. So kudos, keep it up, and more to you. Yeah. Before I go to the next award, I definitely want to make a mention about Rishikesh. It's not an evaluation. I think you've heard the evaluation already, but I think Rishikesh first said that he won't be doing his speech initially because he backed out. And then we had another speaker who backed out as well. And he said, no, then I'll give my speech. So on that basis, I felt that he has done amazing wonders to his speech today, came up, took up the most important part of public speaking is the fear. I think you conquered it almost by making sure that you don't stay behind. So there was a part of the fear which conquered you, but you let it aside and you said, I will give the speech. So kudos to that. That's almost 80% work done, believe me, Rishikesh. So the next speech is going to be just fine-tuning other things. You'll do absolutely great. I can see it. Thank you. Thank you so much. We go on to the next award, which is the best table topics speaker. And this is also very unique, of course, because I felt this is a sharing award between two people. And one is a member and the other one is a guest. So I felt that's also a very unique thing. And that is shared between Ritik. And Sarika.
Thank you.
Congratulations, both of you. And congratulations to both of you. And you have already nailed getting an award, I mean, in the first meeting, Hemant. So looking forward to more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations. And yes, of course, Sarika's, table topics is something she's so comfortable and she's raring to go whenever she's on the stage when it comes to table topics. We love hearing you, Sarika. Keep it going. Keep it going. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Sarika. There was somebody else who was trying to speak. Hello. Ritik, was it?
No, that was a background voice from Sarika.
It is because my husband was speaking on another phone, so I had to shut his mouth so that I can speak.
Okay, poor husband. Okay. The next award is for the best evaluator. And that's again very commendable, because I think this person is also growing by leaps and bounds. I'm seeing him taking roles, taking speeches, speech slots, and also contributing to the various contests which are happening outside in the area and the division. So kudos to you, Toastmaster Vishal Mehta, the best evaluator. Great. The next award is for the best auxiliary role player. It goes to a person who always adds something different to the role, whichever he plays, which is Toastmaster Vishal Shah. Is he there, or I think he's dropped?
He has dropped out.
Yeah. The last award is the best of big three. Any guesses, guys?
Joy.
Okay. No. The best of big three goes to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mehek. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you for being a part of this meeting, and looking forward to more such amazing teamwork and meetings in the future. Do we want to call it closed, or we can have a tete-a-tete after this, if that's okay? You want to stop recording?